Hi, welcome back or welcome to my channel. If you're new, my name is Laura. Hi, hello, welcome. Today is probably my favorite update of the month, my favorite project that I'm doing, and that is my Pan Those Eyeshadows. If you don't know the premise of this project, this was started by Alexi. I will have her linked down below. The idea is to put every pan of eyeshadow into a spreadsheet. Then therefore each of them has a numerical value and you randomly generate whatever number you want to work on. Mine is 6. I want to work on 6 eyeshadows and the goal of it is to hit pan. Now I have a couple caveats to this project. First being I have my loose eyeshadows in here and like eyeshadow pigments. My goal for these kind of things and my liquid eyeshadows are to use them 20 times before I can roll them out of this project. The second thing is if an eyeshadow is in this project and I have used it 40 times or dipped into it 40 times, I have the ability to roll that shade out. That way I'm not feeling overwhelmed with the project because the goal in this is to get use out of a multitude of shadows, a multitude of formulas, a multitude of colors. So my goal is to just get more love in my collection so everything looks well used, well touched. If you would consider hitting the subscribe button and liking this video, it would help me out tremendously. Yeah, this is a huge update, I think. I mean, it's not like the biggest update ever, but I think this is a pretty darn good update if you ask me. So let me first show you the color story that we were working with for the month. I'm going to start with the products that have been in this project for the longest and work my way down to the ones that I rolled in last update. Oh, I forgot to take progress pictures, so I will grab some screenshots from last month's video, but I completely forgot to take progress pictures. I don't know why. So the first shade comes from my Kaleidos 3 Futurism 3 Astro Pink palette, and I was working on the shade Nebula, and it is this, oh gosh, I'm going to try to figure out how to hold this without blinding you. It's this beautiful plummy shade, and I don't know if you'll really be able to tell. I think you can see there's a dip in it, but no pan showing. It's a beautiful shade. I definitely was kind of burnt out on like darker shades and like these plum tones for a long while now, so it's slowly but surely I'm starting to use this again, but I think this is going to be one of those things where I dip into it 40 times and I roll it out. Last month this past month I used it 11 times, a total of 18 times. I am a little sick of working on this shade, if I'm being quite honest with you. I did create some really beautiful looks using this and I will have them up somewhere. I am wearing this shade today. I am enjoying using this, but I'm excited for when I get to that 40 use and I can roll this out. The next one I'm actually very surprised about. I think I've only had this one in here for 2 rounds, so I rolled it in April. So it was in for May and now in for June. And that comes from my Natasha Denona Camel palette, and the shade I was working on was Dune here. And I didn't realize I was so close to hitting pan. It only took me 2 more uses or 3 more uses before hitting pan in that shade, and I used it an additional 2 times. So I've used this a total of 15 times. These pans are actually pretty deep. I think the mattes would take a long time to get through, but I'm really happy that I rolled a shimmer in at least to like see how deep the pans were in these Natasha Denona like regular size palettes. So I am happy that this is rolling out of this project. The next one comes from my Going Coconuts. So the shade I pulled was Lovely Bunch, and I've used this quite a bit. I used this 12 times this month, a total of 21 times. So I'm halfway there to the 40 uses. I think this is going to be one of those ones that gets rolled out at 40 uses. I've used this so much and there's like no wear and tear in it. Like you can see that I've dipped my brush in hopefully, but I mean, it's crazy. That is like very firmly pressed. I have it on as a transition today, but I will continue to work on this one for the next month. The next shade actually comes from my Colourpop Bare Necessities palette. I had the shade Haute, which was like an orangey shade. And let me just tell you, I've created such pretty looks with this. I didn't think that this would be like my go-to color, but I guess for summer I wanted like a warm, nice, like summer smoky eye. And so the shade I was working on was here, Haute, and I hit pan in that. This is definitely softer pressed. This shade at least is very much softer pressed than the Lovely Bunch shade that we just talked about. One of my favorite eye shapes was putting it both on the inner and outer corner, and then whatever like lid shade I wanted to in the center, and it was just a very effortless, beautiful like eye look. I used that Haute 12 times again, and then a total of 18 times to hit pan in this one. So really happy that I've gotten so much use out of that shade and now into this palette. This palette was new in February. So then the next shade I was working on was the shade Benny, and that comes from my Morphe James Charles palette, and I have depotted that palette. If you haven't seen, I did depot my Morphe palettes, but I was working on Benny, which was just a super dark, like almost like plum toned brown, like plum toned like brown black. And it was a really nice shade, and I actually ended up loving this in my eyebrows. So that is Benny, and as if you can see, I do have a bit of pan there. It is not side pan, it is actual pan in there. Again, I used an eyeliner brush or an eyebrow brush, and I would put it in the tail of my brows. It actually makes a really beautiful brow color. I don't have it on today. I'm actually kind of missing this in my brows. I feel like my brows just have a better color and shape when I do the very tail with this. I'm very happy that I got so much use. And then the last shade is my bareMinerals shade in Dove. This is just a silvery toned. I thought it was just like a satin gray, but it does pack a punch. I mean, I'm gonna try not to make a mess with this, but as you can see, it's just a really soft shade. I used this almost every single time I did my makeup as my transition shade. So I put this down first, and that's really how I did the bulk of the use on it. So I did actually end up using this 20 times, which for my loose shadows is the goal, to use them 20 times and then I can roll them out. So I am thrilled. This is not a shade that I want to be working on this time of year. I think it would be nice in like spring and then winter. I want bright colors. I want like neutral colors right now. So this one, I'm very thrilled that I get to roll this out. So that's 4 different shades that I get to roll out, which I think is so good. I'm so excited to do a new selection. So in my Pretty Random app, oh god, it's going to be a glare. In my Pretty Random app, I have numbers 1 to 461. So I'm going to have a screen recording over here as per usual. So I get to generate 4 numbers. That's very exciting. So the first number is 406. The second number is 95. The third number is 154. And the fourth number is 422. I am very excited and very nervous about what I have. So I'm going to take a look. I'm going to go grab them and I will be right back. Guys, I am actually so unbelievably excited for what I pulled. I'm going to start from like what I rolled first to what I rolled last, because I'm on like a good level today of like apparently being prepared and just like getting my ducks in a row. So the first, I am like, just a couple of these palettes, I am like unbelievably like floored. I'm so beyond excited to get to work on these. Like, I don't think, I have just been squealing for like the past 10 minutes. Oh my gosh, the first shade I get to work on is coming from my Sailor Moon palette, and I am so excited. So it's none of the like exciting bright shades, but I pulled Twilight Flash, this guy here. Oh my gosh, it's just gonna be such a good everyday shade. It's like a creamsicle orange. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. So that is that guy there. Again, it'll be just a beautiful like everyday transition shade. If I can run any errands, I can just like chuck that on and be like totally good to go. I am honestly so excited to have this out and like be able to play with this palette a little bit more. I think I'm not going to take the shade out of this. I think I'm just going to like have this palette out, and so I can reach into the whole thing, because I've like not done that yet with this. So excited. And then the next is actually another, I think it's another super exciting one. Number 95 actually comes from my Boss Mood palette, and I depotted that one as well. And that is the shade Hello Sunshine. So just a beautiful, like, olivey, like a, oh, I love this shade so much. I am so excited to work on it. Like, honestly, you have no idea, like, how excited these shades make me for just playing with makeup. So that is Hello Sunshine right there, and I'm so excited. So 2 mattes so far. I mean, whoa, everything so far is all matte. I think I rolled all mattes. I'm gonna have so much fun playing with other things then. I'm so excited. So the next shade, number 154, comes from my Take Me Back to Brazil palette by BH Cosmetics. And how I have these labeled in my like spreadsheet is like all of the things on the first row. So I have like first row, 7th shade, second row, whatever shade, third row to 8 shades. So the shade I rolled was the first row, 7th shade. And guys, it is this. Oh, so you can like see everything. So it's this. It's a blue. I'm so excited. I don't play with blues all too often, but I really wanted to dive into this palette more because one, the pans aren't, oh my gosh, the pans aren't that deep, and I think I can use this and get a lot of really cool looks out of it. So that is that guy there. Holy color, like, oh my gosh. And then the last shade, I honestly am touched that this got rolled, and that was from a gift from my dear sweet friend Haley. I will have her linked up and down below, and that is the CColor, or CColor as I like to call it, Savanna palette, and it is the 7th shade in this palette. So we have 1 to 5, 6, 7. So it's just a beautiful chocolatey matte brown. It's definitely a warmer toned matte brown, but oh, I'm so excited. And this kind of just like grounds all of those colors that we just pulled. So I'm so excited. I like was toying with the idea because I want to finish my Subculture palette, and then I want to pan this guy because I have the Safari palette that this is duping, and this is going to get me a head start on that guy, and I am honestly so excited. But how beautiful are these shades that we rolled? How unbelievably beautiful. After how disappointed I was last month with like how boring and basic my rolls in were, this is the most exciting month of color. Like, I can like encapsulate summer. Like the purple I could like do without, but like this just makes me think of grass. This makes me think of the blue sky, like trees, maybe like the beach, and then I don't know what that would remind me of, but like again, like I'm so happy. Like this just really looks like a summer eyeshadow palette to me. I'm so excited. I like clearly am super stoked, but my only big concern is all of these are mattes. Mattes are typically harder for me to like pan and hit pan in. So the nice thing is I'm going to be able to play with a lot of shimmers that are just like in my collection that don't get touched often. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. I am so excited to show you the looks that I'm going to be playing with for the next month, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye.